Hello, I'm the Guitar Geek and welcome to my review/demo of the JaCkMan amp from Joyo. It's my favourite colours, black and red, like my studio. I don't know if Joyo sent me this first because they see my room, but I'm a big Marshall fan, and if you're a big Marshall fan, particularly the JCM series, then you might be a big fan of this. It comes in at 1.2 kilograms, which is roughly just over a bag of sugar, or the weight of 3 average guinea pigs, meaning that you can carry it in one hand quite simply. The Bantamp series from Joyo is a hybrid series, meaning that it's got a valve preamp and a solid-state Class D power amp section. That means they can pack in some valvey tubey goodness and still keep it small and light because the output is Class D and solid state. Joyo have kept this quite simple. It's got 3 knobs and 3 switches, which is more than enough for many people. We've got gain, tone and volume, and also power, clean or dirty, and Bluetooth. Yep, this sucker has a Bluetooth connection, which means that you can play along with tracks from your phone or tablet or whatever that's Bluetooth enabled these days. So you can jam. And while we're talking about jamming, on the back, got a headphone socket and an effects loop and an 8-ohm speaker out. The effects loop is very, very welcomed in an amp of this price point, meaning that you can put your time and modulation effects, your delay, your chorus, all that sort of stuff through there, so you can get all your distortion and overdrive through the front end and then add that time-based or modulated-based effects after that preamp. I've checked international prices on this amp at time of shooting in 2018. It's €155, strangely $155, and 135 British pounds. On the day that I got the amp, I took it to a band practice and asked the guys if they minded us checking it out and having a play through it with bass and drums and a second guitar. I got some really shoddy footage and audio of us doing that, and here it is now for you. The audio on that video was pretty shoddy, but I'm glad I did it because you can really hear the guitar cutting through those drums, and there's a bass there somewhere that the camera audio definitely cut out and it's all jumping all over the place. It sounded pretty good in the room though. It really sounded Marshall. I'm very happy with the general tone. What it didn't do was clean. We've got a clean and overdrive channel here, and even if you pushed it to the clean, it wasn't clean. It was just less overdriven. So it makes sense to call this the clean channel and the overdrive channel, but really the clean channel is still an overdrive channel and the overdrive channel is more overdrive. I'm pleased to see that Joyo are also offering other styles in the Bantamp series, such as the Fendery one and the Voxy one, and I'm really hoping to try those out soon so I can see how clean they stay at maximum volume, because that's kind of their job. I thought I'd show you the power supply as well. It's really light. They didn't quite manage to fit it in the amp, but I think that an inline power supply is actually a good idea. This transformer means that you can use it in any country, internationally, as long as you've got the 3-prong cable. I have mine, it's down on the floor over there. It's the European one, of course. Now, that looks like a laptop thing, but it is actually pretty sturdy and would take a good bashing. So don't worry about that breaking. I don't think under normal use that would cause you any problems. I'm going to try and answer some questions now that I think somebody might ask, so here we go. Does it sound like a Marshall? Yes, it does. Very much so. Is it as good as a Marshall? No. Does it sound exactly like a Marshall? No. How far does it get you to being a Marshall? A long, long way. I mean, the top tier, out of 10, 8.5. The preamp, obviously being valve, sounds very, very nice. And then when I was playing it in the band situation, it just sort of missed that final valve ampiness that you're getting from the power amp being solid state. There's some great solid state amps available now, and this one has still got a valve in it, and I think it's worth it. At the band practice, I was trying to get it to sort of feed back at the end and sort of really react with the guitar, and it wasn't quite hitting it. It was just sort of letting the sound there and not, there was a little lack of interaction that you would get from a fully valve amp. So it was going through vintage 30s and it just kind of missed the mark, and I found myself being a little annoyed because it didn't do what I wanted it to do. But in the song it sounded very cool. In the demos and sound samples I've got my Gibson classic snot green inlays Les Paul. It's going through two vintage V30s mic'd up with an SM57. That's the Harley Benton Vintage 212 vertical. Round the back in the effects loop I've got the Joyo Space Verb giving us a little bit of room ambience, and on the floor I've got some pedals. That is some good Marshall stuff going on right there. That is fun. That brings us to the end of the video, which means I get to say I'm a guitar geek, and that's the JaCkMan from Joyo. Thank you for watching. You've been you. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you've got any answers, then also leave those, or anything you want to say, get in contact. If you own the amp, let me know what you think of it. Something you might not own is this t-shirt, because it's mine, but you can own one just like it by going to the link in my teespring.com link down in the video description down below. I will leave you with a produced track featuring this amp and some guitars and some drums and some bass. Please come back soon. I'll see you later. Bye.